So, taking care of the fish. First of all, fish lights, they're on automatically, they're on a timer. Yeah, this is the timer. So, they all turn on around 9 a.m. and they all turn off around midnight. Except for one tank that is also on a timer, and that's this one, the salt water. So this one, the timer can turn it off, but it does. Sorry, it can turn it on, but it does turn it off. So right now there's some light, but probably when you come, it's going to be dark. The timer turns it off, but when the timer come back on, all the thing, it's just electricity come back on. So around 9 o'clock, this get turned off in the evening. And for half an hour, and when it turn on, there's these buttons, the light get on them, and the middle one is the one to turn it on. They have 7 modes of different type of blue light. So every time I touch here, the light changes. And the lights that we like to have is the very first white light. So this is blue, and this is also blue, and this is the first white light. You can tell it's white when this one is really green and the anemone really red. So there's 3 different modes of light. White, just leave this on white. Now sometimes if it's before noon, white light get turned off after 5 minutes, and you have to fight with it and keep doing it. So it's I have, the computer is broken and I can't really change it, but that's the only light thing. It's gonna turn off at 9 in the evening, and that's fine. Just leave it at that. And then there's the food. There's 2 tanks that need frozen food, and all the other tanks are taking live food. So we'll start with the first frozen food. So the frozen food is here. 2 different types of food. We have those flat ones, the bloodworms, and we have this is brine shrimp. This goes for the salt water that we just use the light on. But right now I'm just going to feed the one tank that get this one. And there's little squares on this. So every day they get a whole line of squares. So that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares in a line. I just break it and I feed it here to these guys, the cichlids, and I hold it. I let them eat out of my hand. Sometimes they'll nip on my hand, but it doesn't really hurt. The reason is if I let it go, one fish will take it and not give it to the rest. But when I feed them, they all get to eat. So basically, sometimes I'll break it in one piece. Sometimes it might be a few sections, but it'll be one line that I'll give. Hold it on. I'll put down the phone. Okay, I have to open the top. So didn't break too gracefully, but basically I'll be giving them 5 cubes. It doesn't always break straight. So the main thing here is to remember to put the frozen food back in the fridge. If you defrost, it's basically not useful. I just put my whole hand in the water, and the fish, they come inside, and I hold it until the very end. I let them eat the whole thing. See, one of them is nibbling on my fingers. They're really cute. This is like actually the most fun part of the feeding. These are the most engaging fish. And like I said, they like to nibble, they like to touch the fingers, they're kind of cute. So that's one. So this broke in a few pieces, so I'm gonna give them another piece after this one to make sure they got 5 squares. I'm getting another piece. This piece is too big. Maybe I'll give a smaller piece. That should be good. Oh, they took it out of my hand. I catch it back again. Otherwise, they take it away and I can't catch it. They're so cute. Now the frozen food for the saltwater I give last because um, in the morning probably these guys are already going to be awake, but the saltwater will take longer to wake up. So I turn the lights on and then I feed the fish so they have a chance to wake up. There's not so many fish there, and then I'll feed them last. So this is also the order of the feeding. These guys are a little more calm now, they're more fat, the bellies are big, they're not so hungry. So the last, I let them just take the end piece. Now they're more chill. So they don't really fight over it too much, they just fight over it a little bit. Yeah, close this one, I put it back in the fridge, in the freezer. Okay, so yeah, we have the brine shrimp here, that's gonna come last for the salt water. But now the rest of the fish, they get live worms. And then we have these, right now there's 2 boxes, but they're probably only gonna be one. It's probably only gonna be the bottom one. This one is about to be used. And the bottom one is just, they're fresher. This one also already kind of dead. They're a little bit smelly when they come to die, but I think the fresher one is gonna stay fresh for a while. So no worries there. Okay, so first tank I give here, yeah, I open this side, I let the drops drip down. Yeah, it's a little wet from the moist, and then it's a slant, so no big deal, just I don't want all the water. Make sure that this one stays on this side because this corner is in one piece. This corner is broken, so it won't really catch, so don't switch side on the glasses. Yeah, so this is the second glass, and also it doesn't have nothing to catch. I put a finger, gently lift up, let it drip down a little bit, and I put it on top. Then I open the worms. Sometimes there'll be worms on this plastic, so I'm just gonna dip it here. Right now there's no worm, but if there was, I'll dip it because I don't want the worm to be crushed, to dry to death. I want them, so I'll just dip it in the water. They'll fall in the water. But otherwise, these are old worms, so they don't climb. But the other one, they do climb on the sides. But basically, I'll show you how much. So there's these cones here on each side, and I put some in each. So yeah, you can use a fork. Yeah, you don't. I use my fingers, but you don't need to use the fingers. You can use a fork, and I kind of make it like half full. So that if you look from the side, you'll see it's half full. It's about this much on each side. So yeah, that was one side, and now the other side. Yeah, this might look gross, but again, you can take a fork from the kitchen and just use the same fork over and over. But this is the quantity here. Yeah, so about half the cone. And I leave this open, like before I put it in. Sometimes there'll be worms climbing, so I'll use a fork or whatever, but I'll swoop them out and I'll just put them in the water, just so again I don't want to close the box on them, and because they climb as I feed, I'm going to wash them in. Second thing here, yeah, put the worm down. I move the lamp away so they're both on the same side, so I can open here. I put the worm here. Now there's 2 sides of the tank, it's divided. On here, these 2 hopefully will have babies. The baby just hatching today. And here on this side, like right now, the cone migrated to the back, so I'm going to take this net and I'm going to hook it, bring it back forward, yeah, so I can reach it. So I'm pulling it in. It's a little bit sinky now, so I'm gonna have to lift it up and put some bubble air in it so it doesn't sink. Yeah, let me do that. Yeah, I put some air bubble in the thing so it floats, and yeah, they move around, so if they do, sometimes you have to look for them and pull them in with a net. I'm gonna put like not too much on this side, the smaller fish, so maybe I put like a third of a cone, about a third of a cone on this side. I think I gave too much right now, and on this side I'll give like a half a cone. These guys, they eat more, they're bigger, and they're gonna have babies, they're gonna be hungry. I hope they have babies. Their babies might die, I don't know, doesn't always succeed, but they're very hungry. And down here there's babies, mollies. They're really small, so I'm giving them very, very little. Yeah, the cone is in the front. I'm giving about this much. Yeah, so not very much. That's all I'll give. Now, right now there's another big fish in there, so I'm gonna give a little more, because the other fish, there's a pregnant fish. I hope I'm gonna have even more babies, but yeah, I'm giving this much more right now. But usually I only give half of it, and the big fish gonna move out. It's not gonna stay in there. So that's that. And then one last fish tank to feed with the worms. That's the one in the corridor. Also here there's a pregnant fish that I'm going to be releasing, but there's the cone is in the front, but I cannot reach, so I have to scoop it with a net. I have to scoop it to the back. Yeah, and now it's popping out here where I can reach it and put some food in it. I can see it's a little sinking, so I'm gonna put some air in it there, just bubble. And then also like about a half a cone. Yeah, even on a lesser size of a half. Yeah, we hopefully the worm would last the whole time. Yeah, so if I overfeed, I'm just gonna run out of worms. So yeah, you can't really tell how much it's full, but it's pretty much, this is a bigger cone, so I only the very bottom. Yeah, actually you can kind of see that the bottom only have worms, so that's the amount here. So that's that. Right now I'll put some worms to this female, but she's gonna be out. She's not gonna stay here when I'm gone, so you're not gonna have to worry about that. Hopefully I'll have her babies before I leave. And then the last one is the frozen. So I come here, I close this first tank. Yeah, there's nothing to clean. These worms don't climb much. Maybe one little worm here. Yeah, there's a little worm on, I think I wash it. Yeah, there was a worm on it, so I just put it in the water. And then this going back to the fridge, to our shelf, which is the middle shelf. Yeah, make sure to close on the right side because it's broken, so I can only put it on the left. And this one on the right. And then the last but not least, we have the frozen brine shrimp. So I put the worm back in the fridge, and then grab the brine shrimp. I use 1 cube. Yeah, it has little cubes. 1 cube gonna go on the right side of the tank. There's a pump on the left side, so if I put it on the left, it's gonna suck into the back. There's like a little back part where the fish cannot reach. So again, this is the tank. Yeah, and you can see that there's like a back end to it with a bunch of water and equipment. And then on the left side, there's the pump. There's a hole that goes to the pump at the top of the water. So I'm gonna feed on the right side, right here. Yeah, I open the pack, and I'm just gonna squeeze 1 cube right here on the left side. See fish already getting excited. That's it. It's in the water. Now it's floating left, so if it does go left, I'm gonna catch it and throw it back to the right. But it doesn't. It's starting to. The fish already catching it. See that it stays on the right side. I'm just making sure it doesn't go left, so that it doesn't get sucked into the pump. Yeah, the shrimp coming out. There's all kind of critters here. Really fun. Yeah, basically that's all the feeding is. I'm gonna put this back in the freezer, of course. Don't let it go bad. It's probably gonna be close to empty toward the end of the week. Close back the hood. Yeah, I just put it down so I don't want it to stay open. Close it, and that's all. And put the food back in the freezer where it belongs. And that's all the feeding is. That's all. Thank you for watching.